Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, our dear viewers. A warm welcome to Police Media. We thank you for being with us always. I know it is a far cry ever since we made a video. I welcome you from the political fracas we had just of recent. We are back with the intellectual buffet. My name is Chobe John Vianney, your host today. Joining me in the studios is the former minister in charge of information, research, and technology. Politically, he rebranded himself as Simba. We don't know what it means, but probably he will be telling us. Sir, warm welcome to Pandis Media. We thank you for having honored the invitation. Say hello to our listeners.
Thanks a lot, Comrade Chove, for giving me this invitation to come to Punits Media. I think this is, my third time to be here with the audience of the Punits Media. But I want to thank you for inviting me. Colleagues, my name is Kabura Mzafal, a year 3 student doing journalism and communication, commonly known as Simba. And I'm the former 88th Guild Minister for Information, Research and Computer Technology, but as well the founder of the commonly known Out of the Box, plus the Outward Digest Media. I'm very humbled to be here on Pundits.
Oh, thank you so much. Maybe before we go into the nitty-gritty of our discussion, because I want us to look into the recent concluded polls in Makerere University, but our dear viewers want to know, and I personally, as why you rebranded yourself as Simba. What does it mean? Because I'm seeing it is growing every day, and right now you call yourself from Simba territory. So I don't know where are the headquarters of Simba territory, because you could love maybe to have a court service to the headquarters, and then why did you rebrand yourself as Simba?
Okay, maybe to shed a picture to the viewers of the Pundits Media, I would say Simba is like a myth. You know, it's like a story of there existed a certain jungle which was led by a very great man called Mufasa, and he had his son called Simba.
Okay.
So along the way, Simba's uncle called Scar attempted to murder Mufasa, and he succeeded in it. After Mufasa died, Simba was exiled from the territory. So along the way, Simba regrouped, or he summoned his courage back, and he came back to his territory to reclaim the ownership of what was his, which he had to succeed from his uncle Scar, who had murdered his dad. So when I was framing my candidature together with my team, we found it very inspirational that Makerere University is a land, or is a vicinity that has students as the biggest stakeholders.
Yes.
And when you critically analyze, you realize that the university is under siege. It was taken up by the junta. I would say, these days I always brand as a bald-headed man at CTF1.
Who is that one?
For you look into the bald-headed men at CTF1, who took control over this university away from the students. So when I brought in my candidature as Simba, I came back to reclaim what was rightfully ours.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's how the Simba thing.
That's how the Simba thing came into existence. And when I'm addressing people these days, I tell them that it is coming from the Simba Secretariat, or I tell them that this is a clarion call to the Simba territory. The Simba territory is this, because the university is ours as students. It is not for a few self-proclaimed statement from NRM posing here as administrators. Yes.
Thank you so much. Usually we shall not just rush into that one, but probably we shall be looking into it. I know you have a lot to talk about it. If it comes to castigating the system and the government, you have a lot to say. But maybe probably before we go into that, as a former minister in Dangote's government, I would like maybe you paint for us a picture, like you summarize your leadership. The best moments, worst moments. Are there any things achieved? Are there any things achieved? The challenges and so on, before we go into the nitty-gritty of the discussion.
Briefly, maybe to shed my experience as the former 88th Guild Minister for Information, Research and Computer Technology. I would first give a round of applause or maybe commend the former 88th Guild President, His Excellency Alionzi Lawrence, for bestowing on me the mantle of office to serve in government. It is not easy out of the 40,000 students at Makerere University. You choose the one Kabura Mzafal from Mityana to really be the minister in this university. So it is something big and I can't take it for granted. I would say my term in office, which was we branded the 90 days of action, was really a tough one, but as well a space for me to learn a lot of things. My best moments in government were when we had MCM as Prime Minister, but as well I would say it was my best experience practicing what I studied, because the ministry that was given to me focused on the aspect of information, how we deliver the information to the public and how we bridge the gap between the students guild and the administration. And for me, this is what I studied, and it was very easy for me because I was practicing what I studied in real sense. Maybe I would say that we earned a lot of things as the 88th Guild Ministry for Information. We carried out the Cyber Security Awareness and Innovation Expo, but we also managed to rejuvenate the Guild website. We also managed to carry out the Mark at 100 Guild Dialogue series. It is an initiative in the office of the President, the 88th President Alionzi, but it was implemented by my ministry. So I also want to applaud the committee members, Mutevi, Derek, the Edward, Masiko Timothy, for the great work you did. They were working both on my committee and also working in hand to see that we get the dialogues done.
So you had a committee?
I had a committee as a minister.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did a very great work. But I would also want to say that we had also started on the initiative of trying to restore the network connectivity, the Wi-Fi connectivity around the university. This is something we pay for in the functional fees, and we managed to have engagements with the DICTs, and I think by the time I left office, we had managed to secure some money to ensure that they restore Wi-Fi at the School of Education, Social Sciences, CONAS, the guild offices, and some levels at courses. So I really want to argue that maybe by the end of this year, Wi-Fi will be installed in those places, and maybe the other places where it is still weak, it will be boosted.
Okay, about the achievements before,
Yeah.
because you have to also give us some of the challenges we encountered. But I want you to have a comment about this e-voting system we're having. Are you the one who proposed it? Did you give any advice? Because even you coming into your president coming into power, it was the same system. So did you give any advice about it, or it was the effort to make it happen even this time around?
I think the road towards technological advancement is something that is an idea that has not been conceived just previously in Alionzi's government. It is an idea that this university has had for quite a long period of time.
Yes.
But maybe I think the time of implementation is what has always stopped them. But I think that the sparkle factor or the helm of it all was during the COVID-19 period.
Okay.
When we had to understand that we cannot do everything physically. We have to introduce that aspect of doing certain things online. That is when we see the online system start taking shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. How about the challenges encountered in your office?
Challenges have
Should you say that time frame limited your execution of duties or something else?
Yeah, it's one of the aspects that must have limited maybe my execution of duties, but I would as well say that regardless of the time, there are very many other issues that limited my execution as a person.
Okay.
You know, as I told you initially, that the university we are in is under siege, and this university, the administrators who are running it do not want us to do what is in our interest. They want us to do what is in their interest. So we faced a lot of challenges, first of all in regards to our finances, the way the university tries to give us back what we pay with them already in functional fees, the guild fee. When you summarize, when you sum up all that money and put it on a round table, you realize that what they give us is less. So what I envisage to do as a minister is a little bit stopped or limited by the finances.
Okay.
You understand? But also, that aside, I would as well say that the rigidity of the system or the bureaucracy is also something to note out. That we always have issues here that develop at a very high speed, and you get worried to realize that to get something done, you need to first, it needs maybe a week, something that is even urgent. You understand?
Yes.
When I get a call from the university hall and they tell me that we are having issues of network connectivity, and I give a call to DICTS and they take over 3 days telling me now we are trying to get a specialist, we are trying to get someone, it gets a little bit messy. So
bureaucracy was a factor.
It was a very big factor. Someone has to first make a lot of phone calls to do something. Okay, that has to be the procedure because we always have what we follow. But there are certain things which do not require that rigidity for something to be executed. But I would as well say that the road towards the technological advancement in this university is something that has been rushed into. DICT still has a lot of work to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. You know, if we start conversing about the execution of duties and so on, it will take us decades of days.
Obviously.
Yet that is not the main focus of our discussion. But anyway, thank you so much for that. So, our dear viewers, we are still discussing with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Kapurwa Muzaffar. But again, Honorable Minister, away from that, I want us to look into this aspect of the elections, beginning from the new primaries. The point I'm picking out from that, I want you to paint for me a picture about how you saw the primaries, because I saw you complaining. I was there at Kavule. I quoted what you said, that especially about how delegates are being registered and some sort of, I know you received the brother notes from Margaret Natabi, but that's not the discussion. I want you to tell me, how did you see the primaries? Because we got a lot of mixed reactions from them. So I want you to give me your take about that.
Yes, about the primaries, the NUP primaries. I want to argue that the process was not clear. You understand? It was not clear.
Yes.
You see how structures operate. We have what we call the protocol or the order of precedence.
Yes.
That there is someone at this level who is managing a certain thing. And on another level, there's also someone who's managing a certain thing. The way the society is constructed, it is constructed in a way that there are structures that govern it. When you look at Makerere University, it has the NUP MAC chapter. When you go to the NUP Secretariat, you will find there the NUP institutions.
Yes.
You get, and then the National Unity Platform. So when we are down here on the university level, it is the NUP MAC chapter that should carry out the deliberations in regard to the election, which failed in the first place. The election was fully run.
Was it there by then?
It was there. It was in existence. But I think towards the start of the primaries, it was dissolved abruptly.
Okay.
I think you saw that later, and a lot of complaints coming out from people saying you cannot do this just out of the blue, you dissolve us. So the election was fully run by NUP institutions. You understand? And as I told colleagues at Kavule on the final day of the NUP primaries elections, you see, when you are starting a process like an election, it is not something that you're doing you're just like a baby. You just do things the way you want. You understand? When you want to start an election, you have to issue out a roadmap so that you get people ready for what is next.
That they had no roadmap?
They had no roadmap. They didn't give us a roadmap.
Okay.
That on Monday, we are going to call for nominations of delegates. On Tuesday, we shall be verifying delegates. On Wednesday, we shall be doing this. On Thursday, we shall be doing this. You see, that is the level of professionalism. And that is also another level of opposition we want to uphold away from what the Musevenis and his likes to do. To do things the way they want. Because
so
this is a democracy.
That? Is it incompetence of people in charge? Is it because of the selfish interests? Because it sounds ridiculous to work without a roadmap, especially in the election. It is a process. So
the definition of what you might call it, I want to leave it to the viewers to define what it would be. But as I want to say that those are some of the loopholes that I pointed out. But as well as I told colleagues still at the secretariat, that you see, Chobe, we want to develop.
Yes.
We don't want to be where we are for quite a long period of time. The NUP primaries become more relevant if the inclusivity, which is one of the principles of of NUP, when it is upheld. You understand?
Yes.
Such that when we are having these primaries, we involve each and every one. When you look into the way that Democrats and Republicans in USA come up with their flag bearers or representatives from the various states, the whole of the states vote.
Yes.
Each and every state votes for a flag bearer. The Democrats carry out an election in each and every state in the United States, and they get a super delegate who then comes to reveal the outcomes of the election to the general public at large. So when you subject such a system to Makerere University, you will understand that choose will come. We have a polling station at choose. The registered members of the party at choose will all vote for the flag bearer. So you find out that the process has been inclusive to the extent that it has accommodated something like 1,000 students who have participated. It becomes easier for the party to go into the election with the flag bearer than when you have 67 delegates.
Before, from that very point, do you think they have the manpower to do that?
They definitely do have the manpower. Now, imagine a situation in the first place when people applied, we had over 700 applicants who wanted to be delegates. And all these people were told that for you to be a delegate, you have to be a registered member of NUP. We got a form, a Google form, that was presented by the NUP institutions, and these students filled the forms. They even distributed the cards.
But at the end of the day, number reduced up to around 200 from 700 registered delegates.
Yeah,
because for them they claim that if you did not go to the nobody quotas in Kamocha, you were excluded deliberately. So was it free and fair?
It like I told you, that the general thing might have been free and fair on the party on the party levels.
Okay.
But what I want to say that when you want an inclusive election, you don't do that.
All right.
Who tells you that a one Chove who is going to represent the School of Languages, Literature and Communication represents the ideas of all of us who are there?
Probably no.
You cannot. I have a different perspective towards the candidate of someone. Okay. It even sounds sweeter when you allow us, all of us who want to be members of the National Unity Platform, to get our cards, come to the polls and vote for someone.
All right, thank you so much. So as we proceed, I know you are always a man of slogans, and after the Simba territory, so on, again you came up with another slogan. So I don't know, Setabi, Kwata Kunatabi. I think you are the initiator and the appropriate of the slogan, but that's not my point. My point is, after the fracas you have told us about the primaries, we saw you joining Madam Margaret Natavi. So I want you to tell me, what did you base on? And then you left other candidates that were in the same race and decided to join her. Is it because she was the flag bearer of a political party? What was? Is it about principles? What is it all about? And then you brought us the Setabi Kwata Kunatabi. And it was how it was spreading like wildfire, but at the end of the day, it received what we all saw. But anyway, tell us about it.
You see, Chove, a strong man keeps his word.
Yes.
You understand? We subjected ourselves to the NUP primaries, and we all pronounced ourselves in broad daylight to the general public at large that I, Kabura Mzafar, I will accept the outcomes of these primaries.
Regardless of the inconsistencies.
Regardless of the inconsistencies.
Okay.
You understand? So personally, like I communicated earlier to the media personnel who are reaching out to me, I was telling them that I'm a very loyal member of the National Unity Platform, and regardless of whatever happened there, that I don't want to tap into right now, maybe it would be a story for another day.
Probably.
I still had to respect the party. That actually that would summarize it all.
Okay.
I respected the party, and I wanted to be a man of my word. That I stood up and said I'll accept whatever comes out of these primaries, and that's why I went and supported Natavi Margaret.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much. You, after joining Natavi, and then you were actually running a very good campaign. But at the end of the day, we saw a ridiculous action that happened when the two colleagues of the one who was the flag bearer and the other one was also a contestant were disqualified from the race. So I want you to tell me about it. How was it? Was it free and fair? Was it because the regime never wanted the candidate? What was the problem that happened then?
You see, there's a lot of there's a lot
because for them they say that they were disqualified, maybe even some of their supporters, that it was because of them being part of NOP. Leave along the fracas that happened in Mitchell Hall. So is it the case?
You see, I would tell you openly that the general thing is infested with a lot of uncertainties and injustices. You get? We woke up one morning. I remember I woke up at night. It was at 3 a.m. and I woke up and I checked on my status. I checked in my log of statuses. That's when I saw the status of one of the commissioners in the EC. Very late in the night.
Yeah.
The letter came on 7th, but it was dated 6th. Very late in the night, saying that the two people had been disqualified. Immediately after I gave a call to a friend of mine at 3, still, I told him that, you see, our candidates have been disqualified. I think after 20 minutes, they released another letter telling the contestants who had stayed in the race, who are still candidates, to record a video disowning their participation or affiliation to political parties.
Yes.
But I'll tell you this, Chove, that in a country that has dictatorship like Uganda, these are things that no longer surprise us. You understand? For you, if you very well know that the 1995 Constitution of Uganda gives us the right to association, whereby we have the mantle. Kabura Muzafar, I come out in broad daylight and say that I'm a proud member of the National Unity Platform because of the fundamental right that is given to me by the Constitution. And then one Professor Nawangwe sits down with these people in council and frame a constitution that is inconsistent with the supreme law of the land. It beats logic.
But Mr. Honorable, the two involved in an action that nearly was going to take someone's life. So you don't mind about the action that was done before blaming the system. Because what I know, the university is on pressure. Because a student died, Mr. Bewate, last semester, and the same action was nearly happening. So don't you pity with the institution about that?
Yeah, that is true, but that is something that is inevitable. Is it the first time someone is dying here at Makerere?
But should we leave it and people continue dying?
No. Is it the first time that someone is dying here at Makerere?
Not at all.
You see, when you have a problem, you don't just get the problem and ditch it.
Okay.
You understand? When you have a problem, and I've already said it on Pundit's media here, you sit down with your big head as a professor,
okay,
and you find a solution for that problem. Just like Honorable Semujunganda put it straight in a dialogue when we were discussing the role of parties, or political parties in institutional politics. Said when you have headache, you don't cut off the head.
Okay.
When the stomach is itching you, or when you have pain in the stomach, you don't extract intestines from the stomach. Okay. When the police beats up people or abuses human rights, we don't chase police. But we sit down and train these people on how they should treat citizens of Uganda. You understand?
Yes,
when you realize that students at Makerere are chaotic, you have to first find out where is the chaos emanating from.
Okay.
And as we put it straight, have you ever found a rally of Museveni and Bobby Wine moving at Nambole to campaign and talk to their voters in one place? The two biggest contenders in an election being in one place? What do you expect? It is definitely violence, chaos, people beating up each other. So when the university comes out after incidents have happened and they say, we have a lot of intelligence, we have a lot of intelligence watcher, if you know that something is going to happen like a Chimeza, and you know that there are going to be candidates who are going to be invited, why do you wait for it to first finish to happen, and then you say that you're going that you have intelligence?
So do you agree with the university as it asserts that the cause of hooliganism and violence is because of political parties?
It is not.
It isn't.
Some of them are hooligans as well, because the
administrators.
Exactly, some of them are hooligans because they have also been part of instilling the hooliganism into students. Okay. We have had history here of vice chancellors investing money in students to strike. We have had here individuals investing money in students to strike so that the vice chancellors are seen as weak people. We have seen here various college principals extending their nose into students' politics.
Okay, thank you so much.
And today hooligans as
what
well.
I'm taking from that, it is you asserting that some of the administrators are as well hooligans.
That is
just
true.
As they claim that students are hooligans, they are also too.
Yeah, there are some of them who are hooligans.
Okay, thank you so much. So away from that, let us look into the concluded pause. I want you to have a general comment.
But before we go to that,
yes, please.
I still want to assert that I don't condone to aspects of assault. You get? You know, we are living in a civilized society. And for you, if you think you're brave, it doesn't mean that you have to go on beating each and every one. Perhaps it is even more respectable if you are brave and you respect the people who are around you. So I don't condone to such acts of assault, and whoever beat up that gentleman called, I think, Sebata, deserves a punishment. But what I want to say, as I said it earlier, is that when incidents like that happen, you don't just say that, okay, so let us just disqualify people out of the blue. Exactly, it was not. Because these candidates who are disqualified from the race were just called to come and attend. It wasn't a political rally. Okay. It was just a maze of people sitting down and talking to their candidates who are in the solidarity. And that is all.
Okay, thank you so much. So I was taking you to the polls that we have concluded just of recent, where we saw a very stiff and tight competition. But I want you to give us a general picture about how you saw the general elections amidst the suspension and disqualification of some candidates. So you just give us the summary of how you saw the elections amidst what you have discussed.
You see, I was trying to give an analysis earlier when the election a little bit took shape, and I was telling someone that we are going to have a college vote. The numbers are going to decrease. It's going to be very unpopular. Students are not going to participate. According to me, this is the very first online election we have had. The very first online election we have had. I recall yesterday I was talking to one of the officials in Dix, and I was telling them that this has asserted my thought of saying it is the very first election, because during the 88th guild elections, we have this, the prevailing circumstances we had were a little bit blended. You get? Because the likes of Alionzi and Hussein used to move around and make their physical campaigns as they used to.
First of all, they had the physical campaigns before.
Exactly, they had them before, and even when they enacted the new laws which deterred them from having the physical elections, they still moved around the campus premises, and also used to clad in their red berets and also identifying themselves as affiliates of various political parties. Okay. But this time round, it was following the law to the dot. Okay. You get? Although it is a bad law, but it doesn't take away the aspect that it is in place. You get? So it was a very tough one that one had to invest in a lot of awareness to ensure that his or her name reaches the common student. I was talking to the EC chair, and I told him, for you think when you write a letter and you put it on your status, you have communicated. That is not communication. Unless you want to run an election of the political class. And I think this is what he ran. An election of the political class of the students who are concerned to know what is happening in regard to that student leadership. These are the people who participated. But the common student at Makerere University did not participate in the election because the blame first goes on the EC. The mode of communication they used was not right. You know the avenues we use here at Makerere University when you're trying to convey information to the general students fraternity at large. With platforms.
I had even complaining about that issue of the Twitter space when the EC actually they had a debate about the good aspirants. They opened up an account or at 2 and then at 4 they organized
the Twitter
space. So I saw you castigating about
now,
it.
Now imagine a Twitter space of guild presidential candidates with the 70 people attending, and you also sit aside and you brag that I'm the EC chair, I'm carrying out an election which is free and fair. It's like you're carrying out an election in secrecy that you don't want other students to know that you're doing X, Y, and Z. 70 people out of over 40,000 students, you're having 70 people on a Twitter space and you are saying we have a guild presidential debate. Shame upon you people of the EC.
Okay.
So I really think that even besides that,
the issue of communication.
The issue of communication was a little bit problematic. But as well, Chove, where have you ever seen campaigns online? I remember from the meeting, from what I received from the candidates who attended the meeting that the presidents had before they were disqualified, they told them that you go on TikTok, you make a live broadcast and call people to come and you tell them your manifesto. You go on Facebook and start a live, you call people and tell them your manifesto. You see, it totally beats logic to even envisage or have a vision of what people seated in those offices think when they are making such statements. Where have they ever seen a campaign online? That, okay, this certain country had campaigns on Zoom. Eh? Okay. The aspect of online is very fundamental because that is the way we are going. Eh? But you cannot. Students are here physically, ready to listen to their leaders, physically interact with them and understand what they have to do for them. But for you wake up one day and tell someone to go on TikTok. You yourself who's telling someone to go on TikTok, you don't even have an account. If you have an account, you don't even exceed 10 followers, and you are sending people to go on TikTok and carry out campaigns. You see, certain things these administrators do not think hard. That's why for us, when we come here, we say some of them are a total picture of what they say we are. When they say we are hooligans, some of them are hooligans as well. When they say we are violent people, they are also violent as well. When they say we don't sit and analyze or deliberate on matters before we act, they also do the same. Because when you look into all those aspects, you really realize that some things are not feasible and practical.
So how about the technology that was used on that very day? Because we received a lot of the technological glitches. So was it also a problem to the low voters turn up during the polls on Friday?
Actually, that is a very big aspect. I remember the last time I was here on Pundit's Media, I told you, Chove, I had a database of over 50 voters who did not vote for me during the chairmanship race. And these are people I collected and they told me, you know what, I failed to vote. You understand?
Yes, please.
Right now, in this 89th guild election, I know a GRC from Chus who did not vote for herself.
Why?
But thank God she won. She failed to vote because whenever she could access the system, it was bringing the 500 Houston, bad gateway, things like that. You understand?
Yes, please.
So you could also as well on a bigger hand attribute the low voter turn-up in regard to that. That even when someone wants to vote a lot, they are really demoralized by the way the system is reacting. And what Dix continues to say is that check your network, change browsers, remove VPN, what and what. But even when you do all those things, the system remains faulty. So even when I, Kavura Mzafal, have a number of over 1,000 people who support me, to turn that support into votes gets a little bit problematic. Out of all those, I really get a few. So when we are looking for this support, it gets a little bit problematic, whereby you cannot capitalize on one person who has failed to vote, but maybe you would rather look for more people as you find a sample of over 5 people out of the 10 who maybe would be able to access the system.
So after all that screaming and whizzing about the activities of the Electoral Commission, how do you rate the activities by percentage?
Rate?
Is it 2%? Is it Are they halfway?
Mm.
How is it?
I would say I would give them a 40%. I would give them a 40%. You see, it is a very Herculean task
But
to have such systems.
Do they really have powers?
To?
Do they really have powers? Because in my opinion, I think they are fully controlled by the dean and the administration. Do you have that independent decision making? Because you might want to pity them for that.
You see, Chove, even when you establish that system, except if it is run by itself, where we have not yet reached. But if the system is still run by individuals, that a one Chove is running the system, he can give it commands. Why wouldn't we have doubts of compromise? That is obvious. You get?
Yes.
But I wouldn't say that I have information in regard to that. But I just want to tell you that the realistic thing is that when human beings are still running things, we are selfish people. We can be compromised. We have selfish interests. Such things can happen.
Okay. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. We are still with Honorable Minister, the former Mr. Simba Kabura Muzaffar, and we are talking about a lot of issues. So as we conclude, or as we come to the end of the show, there are some key issues we need to look at before we leave this place. I want you to give us a comment about Mr. Masaluka's victory. One, tell us, why did you finally join the group? And then secondly, how do you see his victory? Is it by luck? Is it because of hard work? Is it because of the endorsements from you as individuals and then from the party? So what was really the matter of the issue?
Now that you talk about His Excellency Maseruka Robert, I would first of all want to congratulate him upon his win. We've been friends with Robert, though political times spawn a lot of egoism, and all of us in one way or another decided to choose ourselves first. But on a level that is understandable in principle, I would say that I congratulate him once again, and do the best for the Makererians. But maybe to give a comment
about why
I joined, and then secondly maybe for his victory.
Yes.
Why I joined is that colleagues know that we as the Simba territory, we had issued a statement from our secretariat informing the colleagues that we had joined the Natavi cause to stop the invasions in Makerere University. But as you know, that we were stopped by a strange creature who gave our candidature a bloody nose. We tried to Did
you try the legal means?
We tried each and every aspect. I recall when we made a press conference at Emerald Hotel, we were arrested, brutally arrested. My colleagues were beaten, some of them were scratched, they have wounds, and we are still having a case of, they said that we carried out an unlawful assembly, yet we were at Emerald Hotel there. That's where we carried out our press conference from. After there, we went to court, and we got the first ruling on Thursday before the election.
What was the ruling?
We failed on the judge because he told us it was impossible to put back Natabi in the race.
Why?
I wouldn't go into the nitty-gritties because I'm not a law student.
Okay.
Maybe perhaps from what will come out of the final ruling, you'll get to know the details of the case. But I want to say that we failed to get the injunction we were seeking for. But after that, we had to move on because we all sat down in a meeting and realized that really right now the best thing to do is to support someone else. And the next best option, in not even in line of the friendship, but also in line of the party, because he was a party member and also involved himself in the party process, Maseruka Robert was the next best option.
Okay.
So still, I summoned my team, and we as well issued the statement from our secretariat that we are going to join Maseruka Robert.
And I've seen your news status, we are going to also to issue another statement. So we are waiting to see what is it all about.
Exactly. But as well, maybe for Maseruka's win, I would say that I would say there are three things. One of them is Maseruka is lucky.
Okay, luck is a factor?
Is a factor.
Why?
He's lucky. Define the word lucky and put it in his name. You will say he's lucky.
Oh.
The second thing is belief. Even before the team comes in, the man believed in himself that he will get that position. And the third thing is about the alliances, or I would say the endorsements, which played a very vital role. You see, we spent a lot of time having ruckuses under the people who had engaged themselves in the NUP primaries. And amidst all this, the other candidates who are in the races were moving and looking for support when we were still in our hatred, beefing each other, what and what. So we spent a lot of time in that. And I think it did not give him the luxury of time to access his voters, just like he would do if at all the decision
so
was made a little bit earlier. It did.
Okay.
So these endorsements of people who are behind Simba and believe in him, people who are behind Sula and believe in him, people who are behind Natabi and believe in her, really created a big cloud to him and added on a lot to his candidature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So, how do you see this university politics, in future? Because I don't know the future in politics you have in this institution. But anyway, how do you see this politics of Makerere University, with or without political parties? Because I think it is becoming hard for you to come out publicly and claim that you belong to a certain political party. So, how do you see the future of this institution, regardless of having political parties or not?
Sure, it is illogical to even have a discussion about whether we should be having political parties at Makerere or not. Yet it is a fundamental right that is given to us. Makerere is subject to the supreme law of the land.
Yes.
Me, I don't want to have those discussions of telling me that political parties are not accepted in this university. I would just tell you, go back to the constitution and read it, the 1995 constitution. And if you don't want, you the dean of students, you the vice chancellor, if you don't want to Muzafaru to be a member of the National Unity Platform, for you be independent.
Okay.
Yes, you be independent. It is also a right, because that's what you believe in. For me, I believe in the National Unity Platform. For you, if you don't want, you be independent. Just as simple as that. But you see, our university is under siege. And if students do not summon their courage to rise up against these draconian policies.
What do you mean by raising up? Is it organizing a strike against the institution?
You see, exhausting all avenues.
Okay.
Exhausting all avenues. When we say that we rise up, the road towards liberation or revolutionary endeavors call for each and everyone to do what they can do best. You get that Choi can contribute through
media.
Through media. That His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi can contribute through his revolutionary songs. I think you are aware of the Sing Revolution that changed the government in Cuba.
Okay.
You see, these endeavors, there are very many aspects or platforms people can use. You can write poems, you can be creative, you can use art, you can use each and everything to express your dissatisfaction towards the system.
So that's what you mean by raising
So
up.
when I mean we as students rise up, I mean we need to exhaust all those avenues in regard to fighting for what is rightfully ours. Otherwise, if we keep quiet and you expect Muzafaru to be the same person to be arrested today, even tomorrow, even the other day, nothing is going to happen here. And you see, people are funny. After when a certain thing happens, they say our leaders are keeping quiet. When you call for action, they say now you look at them. They have their selfish interests. When they arrest you, they say now who sent you there? You get?
So they are very controversial.
They are very controversial. First of all, we need to organize ourselves mentally, and we summon our minds towards the common cause. When we do that and everyone is ready to contribute and participate in changing this university, we shall change it. Otherwise, if we don't do that, this is going to be a very, very, very self-proclaimed primary school.
But some people are like, overall, let me study my degree of 3 years, then I go off. Some people are having challenges, the economic hardships, and so on. So for them, they deem it unnecessary to participate in this political cause. And so how do you advise such students with those ideas?
Politics affects each and every one.
Okay.
Whatever you do in every sphere is politics. You understand? When we call for students here to come and strike or to come and contribute towards us lodging a petition against the university in the courts of law, and you don't come, first of all, you're depriving yourself of a fundamental right of voting, like the year ones that were not allowed to vote in the previous election. You get?
Even this one, they just voted late.
Exactly.
1 hour to end the polls.
These things affect you. When we say that we are rallying this university against the draconian policies, and you stay aside seated, in one way or another, you like it or not, it is going to affect you. You get? So, even on a national level, when prices of commodities rise and people sit down, you say for means when the prices rise to the top notch, it is going to affect you.
Okay.
So the society is constructed in a way that its development is as a result of collective responsibility. When you don't rise up, all of us, and for you say that in the sijja bikola, boba gende babikole, nine ebyokola, in one way or another, you're going to be affected.
Okay, thank you so much. So we conclude. Where do you place yourself in the current government of His Excellency Maseruka Robert? Should you expect the resurrection or the revival, the return of Simba and the territory, or you going definitely into a political limbo?
The next government, okay, the government that is on for His Excellency Maseruka Robert, I'm a continuing student. I still have the privilege to serve in an office.
Okay.
But I would say I'm privileged to some positions that when put in the name of Simba, they can fit in.
Okay.
So, as I told you earlier before this interview started, that when Maseruka bestows on me the mantle of an office worth me, there is no reason as to why I would turn down the favor. And perhaps it would be a best government to work with a colleague I've been hobnobbing with for quite a long period of time.
Okay.
So it's something that I wouldn't take down, and I would say we as the Simba territory, we are open-minded, and we are still eligible to serve in any position, regardless of those that say that we don't have marks. I wonder how they think one can participate in politics without marks. So we have each and everything that qualifies us to be in those offices. So Maseruka Robert, His Excellency, if you're there, and you and you think that the involvement of the Simba territory is worth it in your government, for us, we are ready to work with you, Mr. President.
All right. Give us the parting shots and then we'll leave.
My parting shot to the gallant intellectuals would be that, colleagues, political times spawn a lot of egoism. Some students were supporting Sabiti, His Excellence. I would call him His Excellence for the badge of honor. Some colleagues were supporting His Excellence Oremo Odwe. Others were supporting Mark Mutenga. Others were supporting Semakula Andrew. Others were supporting Maseruka Robert. Right now, we have to accept that Maseruka Robert is the guild president of Makerere University. That is a fact. You're not going to remove him from that seat, and no one is going to do it except death.
Okay.
So we have to really summon our courage, be united, and work with Maseruka Robert, regardless of all the differences. When we accept and work together with someone right now, and his endeavors are also directed towards the students' cause. That is how we are going to revive the glory of this university, and as well execute the slogan of his candidature, which says, say no to Putinism.
Yes.
Yeah, but I want to thank you and also say that we are in Ramadan. I would also want to appreciate the Muslims for fasting. And also, I've been fasting. I'm a staunch Muslim. I'm not a Muslim of a name.
Okay.
I've been fasting, and I would also want to argue though I would also want to assert to those that have not been fasting, when you have no problem that the Lord is watching you, you don't have to confuse yourself. Please fast. It is very good when we have something we believe in, because that is what guides our endeavors as people in terms of our deliberations. I want to thank you all. I remain Kaburam Zafalu, founder Out of the Box, Ultra Digest Media, former 88th Guild Minister for Information Research and Computer Technology, former Guild aspirant in the NUP primaries, and also the head of the Simba territory. God bless you all, the audience of Pundits Media. God bless Makerere University.
Okay. Thank you so much for having given us this this visit to our studios. You know, you are always available, because I gave you a call, I think it was night, but still you have made it to come. Maybe what I can ask from you, I want to join that Simba territory. Maybe I don't know what it really does, but you shall find the nitty-gritty of that territory. But otherwise,
Write a letter
asking
to join.
Okay, probably. All right. Thank you so much, our viewers. With that, allow me to wish you good luck. Let us meet next time. God bless you.